Ladies and gentlemen, the Newton Nomadic Theater presents Story Slam.
50 years ago, last month, I returned to Newton after 4.5 years as a naval intelligence officer in the Middle East, North Africa, and finally on an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean. I went to the aircraft carrier. I was supposed to be a squadron intelligence officer. And this was the aircraft carrier Franklin D. Roosevelt, which was about 24 years old at the time. It was a bucket of bolts. But I was only going to be one squadron intelligence officer. I got to the ship in the Mediterranean, and I was informed by the operations officer that I was going to be the ship's intelligence officer because the one that was on the ship had gotten sick. And I had no idea what I was doing. And because I had never been on a ship before. I really hadn't been. And but they said you should go down to the intelligence office and meet a first class named Ken Knuth, and he'll square you away. I said, that's fine. So I went down and I met Ken Knuth. And I said to Ken Knuth very honestly, I said, I have absolutely no idea about what I'm doing here. And Knuth said, nobody on this ship has an idea. but he said, you know it, so you're going to be all right. And he said to me, we bonded right away. You know, officers and enlisted people are not supposed to do it, but we were very simpatico right from the beginning. He was great. And again, as I said, we had a ship that was supposed to do 30 knots an hour. If it got over 23, it just rattled and shaked, and they had old airplanes on it and everything like that. About this time, the aircraft carrier Enterprise, which was America's first nuclear submarine, nuclear aircraft carrier, came into the Mediterranean. And it was on the beginning of a worldwide tour. It would cruise, it would show that a nuclear ship could sail around the world without refueling. It was the idol, it was the Navy's pride and joy. And everything was geared to make it look as good as possible. So it had the most modern radar equipment. It was entirely computer run. And but the powers that be said we were going to have a joint exercise to see which aircraft from which ship could fly over the other one, could elude the other ship and fly over it. That was the idea of the exercise. We supposedly did not have a chance. And everything was supposedly stacked against us, and we didn't, but the second day, Ken Knuth came to me and said, Mr. Burke, he said, I've got an idea. Ken Knuth had been an avid reader of ancient Greek, Roman history. He said, we can put this damn ship into a harbor where I know the radar from the other ship can't see us. And I said, yeah, okay. He said, I know because he said, I've done all the work on this over the last year. I've been doing this. We can put the Roosevelt right in that thing. And we said, well, the powers that be will never buy off on that. But I said, I'll back you up. So we finally got up. The operations officer said, no way. But we finally got up to see the captain. The captain said, I like it. I like it. And he was a cowboy, kind of a cowboy, a great guy. So what happened was we over the next few days, we developed the plan. And we got it. And our idea was this. We would sail the thing into this harbor just as the exercise was starting. We knew their radar wouldn't be over that area. We snuck in there, turned the boat around the harbor, and there it was. And we had total blackout on the ship. Nobody moved. Nobody moved. And we just stood there, and about half an hour later, we could hear the Enterprise planes flying all over the place. They kept going. And we got the first break. They launched every freaking plane they had. That's what we wanted to have happen. And we were just like this. and everything seemed to be going good. And then suddenly on the hillside, the little Greek village houses, the lights started coming on because they could see us down there. And the thing, we said, oh my God, we're going to get screwed. But what happened, we didn't. They flew over, they kept flying over. And at the last minute, they had to go back because they were out of fuel. And when they were out of fuel, the captain came over and said, why, get this on the other side. We went around, turned the ship around, and launched the planes. And there was this admiral who was always on this ship. He was a pompous ass, and everybody disliked him. And he had the congressmen on the thing to show them the beautiful ship. He had the contractors and everything. And he was always strutting around the thing. And just as it did, our planes roared over the Enterprise. And all of our planes got launched. And the real crushing blow for that other side was we were the only ship that still had propeller planes, and the propeller planes stayed over the lake, and all of them were there, and we did this, and we did it. And Ken Knuth, because he knew Greek history, and he knew this thing, he was able to outmaneuver all this stuff. The powers that be embargoed that whole thing. They made it classified. And the only last thing was, I recommended Kim for a big award, which he got, and I said, and he said, well, you should get it too. And I said, no. I said, I had absolutely nothing to do with this. And the compliment he gave me was this. He said, my other two bosses I had would never have done what you did. You had faith in me. I said, well, I guess that's half the battle. Thanks a lot.